Hey everybody, welcome to another podcast from NikoTheLegend, aka Nicholas Sorokin. And the time is 11:58 p.m. The date is 8/18/2016. So this is kind of like the same date for the last podcast I did for you guys. Comments on Game Grumps. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was just like a little demo, but you guys kind of get the idea where I'm going. So today's topic, we're going to talk about I Am Setsuna, which is this Japanese role-playing game made by Tokyo RPG Factory and published by Square Enix. And you can get it on the PS4 and on PC with Steam platform. If you guys don't know what Steam is your basically your hub for a lot of video games that people put their games on, this giant like platformer networking of games. Anyway, so I Am Setsuna. We're just going to get straight to it. Not going to go really too far into introductions, but just know that my voice will guide you. And I will have a video playing, as you can tell right now, of I Am Setsuna, kind of giving an idea what the game looks like without having, to do too much research, but you guys will see the visual aid. Anyways, so I Am Setsuna, like I said, it's an RPG game that is a so-called spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger. If you guys haven't heard of Chrono Trigger is a Super Nintendo game that came out on the Super Nintendo about, I think it came out in 95, 96, so about 20 years ago. And it is it is held in high prestige as one of the best games ever made and the best RPGs ever made of all time. And it's made by Squaresoft. I mean, this is when Squaresoft was good at making role-playing games. What made the game great? Well, it's just every little thing about it. But we're not talking about Chrono Trigger here, so please check out that game or look it up if whenever you get a chance. It's a fantastic role-playing game. Pixelated, it's aged well, surprisingly, better than N64 games. Anyway, we won't get into that either. So I Am Setsuna is stemmed very, very much from Chrono Trigger. It's a very big spiritual successor. And I Am Setsuna goes with the traditional role-playing franchises or games that were created back in the day in like the 90s and 2000s, and it pays homage to it. So what I mean by that, the storytelling, how linear it can be when you play like Final Fantasy games on any type of console, and what. Especially the old ones, like before Final Fantasy VII. Like I'm talking about like the retro ones, the pixelated ones, and the story is very linear, but what you can do in it is quite fantastic. Anything in between the journey, right? Not the destination. So it is a Japanese role-playing game, and this company wanted to bring that back big time, because not many people make Japanese role-playing games anymore, because now it's all about shooters and MMOs, I guess. Well, they're kind of a dying breed, but it's mainly shooters and multiplayer games and recording multiplayer games and stuff. Single player is kind of dying out as well, but that's a topic for another time. So what basically I Am Setsuna tries to do is goes back to the roots of your standard typical Japanese role-playing game, which is great, right? You want something like that to bring a blast from the past, but also you put new things in it, you know what I'm saying? Like present-day technology used with old concepts, which is great because, some people love doing that. And that's why we get so many fucking indie games, right? So, to go into further detail of it, so basically, yeah, like I said, we're discussing if I Am Setsuna is worth the price tag and is worth even playing and at all. And I'll tell you from experience, like I've played 12 hours into the game, and let's just say I have a prayer with me along after like the first hour of playing, and I've kept it with me this whole time, and I haven't beaten the game because, well, we'll get to that in a second, but I have this prayer of the game just, trying to hope that it impresses me in the end, like it actually shows it goes in a kind of a different direction. And like I said, we'll get to that. So let's talk about I Am Setsuna even more. Basically, the name says it all. There's a character in the game called Setsuna who's on this pilgrimage to sacrifice herself for the greater good to stop demons and hold them at bay. And your main character is a guy from this mercenary clan, lives in the snow, a snow tribe. And by the way, the whole game takes place in snow, which, we all love snow levels, but how much do we really love it to where the whole game consists of snow levels? Like I said, we'll discuss that too. So basically, yeah, your guy is tasked to go kill Setsuna, but you kind of have a change of heart before you do it. You kind of get to choose if you want to kill her right then and there, but I'm pretty sure the game forces you to not do that, even if you want to kill her right then and there and just accomplish your goal. Like I said, it's a linear game. It's already programmed for you to to go with the flow. So yeah, basically you go on an adventure with her and you find other party members and you fight monsters, bosses, go through dungeons and all that. It sounds like full of possibilities of, everything I said, like also, you go to towns too and you talk to all these different townspeople. So you guys who played role-playing games, you know what I'm talking about. Like there's so much creativity you can do there, and you've seen how amazing JRPGs have come along with this type of stuff. It's amazing. Even with like regular non JRPGs like Skyrim or Elder Scrolls series, you guys know. So I Am Setsuna. Well, when I first heard of this game, I heard about it like a couple months before it came out, and I was pretty excited. I looked at a trailer on Steam and I was like, oh, what's this? And I read the description. It's like a timeless. It talks about like it, paying homage to like classic JRPGs, with storytelling and all that. So I was like, okay, awesome. And it said it's highly inspired by Chrono Trigger, and I fucking love Chrono Trigger. It's literally one of my favorite fucking games I've ever played. You can just play it over and over, like you just can. It's this masterpiece, well crafted. It'll stand out until the end of time. If you guys play Chrono Trigger, you know what the time stands for. So yeah, I Am Setsuna. Not to get off topic or anything, but I Am Setsuna is comparing itself to it. So it may have been its downfall. It may have shot itself in the foot when you're comparing it to a giant like Chrono Trigger, even after 20 years of aged Parmesan, right? It's still good, right? Still tastes fine and goes on everything, especially spaghetti. So I waited after, and then in the meantime, I waited until the game came out and I did my research on it, and I was looking at more videos and like trailers and stuff, and it looked promising. There was things in the game that it reminded me of Chrono Trigger, which was a good sign, but bells and whistles, it's only, it's on the surface, but once you go past it, you start scratching, you start itching, you finally get to see what the game truly is. So I eventually, the game came out and it was $40. Okay. So just think about the $40 price tag right now. I mean, indie games themselves, even though it was published by Square Enix, it's still an indie game because, it's by a company that no one's ever fucking heard of. It's not it's not on all the consoles, it's an indie game. Like No Man's Sky is an indie game, even if it's on the PS4 and PC. An indie game doesn't have to be only on one platform, which is PC, to make it an indie game. It's just, indie developer, independent. And that's what RPG Tokyo Factory is, or was. I don't even know who knows what the record is for them, really. But but $40 for a price tag for an indie game, that is a fuckload of money. Even in these days, even $60 is asking for way too much, and that's $20 more. But even, like I said, $40 for an indie game, for like a game who follows the same type of gameplay as Chrono Trigger, but in a 3D form, because it's just a complete makeover of Chrono Trigger, just with 3D, sprites and stuff. I think sprites are only pixel, whatever. But you guys know what I'm talking about. And, indie games back in the day, early 2010s, whatever, the price tags for indie games were not that much money. Even in the late 2000s, like Castle Crashers, that wasn't that much money. It was like $15 or $10. And then indie games are so mass produced, and people ask so much money for them because they feel like they spent the most time on it, right? They spent so much time on indie games, and they feel like they deserve, to put this hefty price tag because, oh my God, they're out of money now, and the economy fucking blows dong. It really does blow in the video game industry too. So let's fucking amp up the price tag. $40 was a big gamble, and I regret it. I really do regret it. If you look at my channel, I've only made 3 episodes of the game, and I stopped because it just wasn't interesting to me anymore to record, which I'm sorry for you guys who have watched it or are going to watch it. It's not going anywhere after the introduction phase of the game. I'm sorry. You'll see if you have it. So anyway, yeah, $40 price tag. And, I fell for it, clickbait. Because, Chrono Trigger, this is like Chrono Trigger. And I got it. I was excited, and I wanted to record it, posted an episode on day 1, which, by the way, didn't fucking work on YouTube because I'm not popular on YouTube. And I barely got any views for it, but, I'm still out there, though. I'm still in the archive for I Am Setsuna. And so, yeah, I bought it. I was excited, and I load up the game, and it comes up with these graphics settings. Like, it already prompts up before you load the game, and you use the keyboard or the controller, which, by the way, be careful when you use a controller, and we'll get to that in a second. So it asks you what resolution, if you want it windowed, full screen, blah, blah, blah. You guys understand if you want to use a controller or a keyboard. So I used the controller first because I'm like, okay, this reminds me of like I'm being on the Super Nintendo, and I wanted to relive those days from the past, because I fucking love nostalgia. And maybe nostalgia was my downfall too on this. So you could say it's my fault and the company's fault. We'll let you guys decide. Leave a comment down below and see whose fault it was. Who the fuck knows. So I plug in the controller, and it works fine for now. And so I click OK. Settings are done. The game's loading. I'm like pretty excited. And then the start screen comes up. And it's very, very kind of sad in a way, but at the same time very soothing, because you see the snow falling in the background on this black background, and it says I Am Setsuna on it, and you just hear this piano theme playing, and it's very, very subtle, but it takes its time, and it's meant to kind of make you feel what Setsuna goes through, how it goes with music. And yeah, it's a very, very nice piano theme. I enjoy it. The soundtrack is amazing in the game, okay, even though if it only uses piano, sadly. But anyway, so we get past the start menu. I press start with my controller, and I'm trying to go to, their start game, load game options, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to start. Let's fucking play the game. I'm excited. And then all of a sudden, as I'm pressing the start button, or the A button, whatever the confirm button is, nothing's happening. I freak out. I don't freak out right yet, but I'm confused. I don't know what to do. So I do what everybody else would do with a controller. I just start clicking every fucking button. I start typing on the keyboard. Nothing's happening. Like nothing. Like I could move up and down, but I couldn't fucking press the confirm button. Like it wouldn't register in the game. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I exit out of the game, I reload it, and I rinse and repeat the process. Nothing's happening. I look it up online. I see what's going on. People were having the same problems as me, and they said, the controller's broken. And I was just like, of course it is. Fucking launch day, the controls for a controller broken. I even posted that shit on Twitter. And maybe Facebook, but Twitter mainly, because, people need to know this shit before they buy this. I mean, they make videos like, before you buy this game, you guys know about those videos. And I was like, okay, they're like, use keyboard. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll use keyboard, for this type of game. It's not a big deal. But at the same time, it was, because it kind of fucking ruined my happiness. And my hype was like already being shot down, because games, even fucking indie games nowadays, are broken from launch. Like fucking broken and it's ridiculous. And you pay $40 to $60 for these big, highly anticipated titles, and you get fucked for it. And we always fucking fall for it. For people that don't fall for it, I commend you. You can call me a fucking moron all you want. I understand. I am a moron. I did this to myself. Okay? It makes me broke and sad. So, let's see, we were talking, yeah, okay. So I load up the keyboard. Sorry, my screen turned black for some fucking reason. So I'm just going to keep moving my mouse every now and then, every like couple minutes. So anyway, so yeah, I started the game up. I load up the controls for the keyboard. And, kind of sad, but at the same time, whatever, I got over it. So we get to the start menu, it works fine, and then I'm like, okay, I can maybe forgive them for now. But this process took about 30 minutes to figure out, and because, you're trying to do everything, you're fucking panicking. And so the game starts out, great. We'll start with that word. It starts out great. Because classic role-playing games, they love to put you in the middle of something already happening. Or Chrono Trigger, you start out in your house and you get to see the landscape before he gets to your house, and your main character starts moving and wakes up out of bed. But in this game, you start out you're walking through the snow and the woods and stuff. It's snowing very heavily. You see your character just walking with your master, and you guys go through like a dialogue, and basically this whole process of talking is kind of like the prologue. Kind of introduces you to your character, what's going on, what are you doing, and basically what you're doing is trying to rescue somebody from the woods or whatever, being attacked by monsters. I can't remember exactly because I've only played the introduction about twice, maybe 3 times. I can't remember. But yeah, that's what you're doing, and your master's just talking to you, blah, 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 typical storytelling. You get to name your character, which is cool. I really admire the part where you get to name your character anything you want, because games nowadays don't fucking do that, really, especially JRPGs. They have a hard time following that now, especially Square Enix. They don't fucking care about that crap anymore. So I was like, awesome. I get to name my character. It looks amazing in the game. Like, the graphics are pretty fucking, like, the aesthetics are amazing in the game. Like, I really like it. So they did a very good job on that. So guys, if you're into that pretty stuff, you can admire it very well. But like I said, it falls short eventually. Okay, so eventually you get past the tutorial, which introduces you how to fight, and the fighting is just like Chrono Trigger. It's turn-based and it's real time, so you see the monsters on the battlefield. You take turns fighting, and you can do magic, attack, dual spells, flee. Dual spells are basically like you and your partner combine attacks and you do double damage or something like that. But it's only if you have the right party member and the right skill to do a double attack. And I don't think you can do a dual attack yet with your master. I can't remember exactly, but your master is basically watching you the whole time as you fight these monsters. So yeah, you don't do the dual attack, but you can do it eventually with party members later, which is awesome. Because, Chrono Trigger is fucking great. So let's, keep it great. Let's keep that image great. So eventually we stumble upon the damsel in distress, let's just say. And very, very JRPG, it leads to a boss. And you have to defend this damsel in distress. And you do that. You kind of test, the game does a good job at like testing what you've trained along the way to get to where you are. It doesn't take that long to get to, to the boss. But, so you use what you learn against the boss, and eventually you beat it, you rescue the person, and then, your master is like, hey, whatever, hey, let's, I'll be leaving now, and just catch up when you can, or, I don't know, he says something, which leaves your main hero alone. And then a random figure comes out of nowhere and basically tells you the mission that you need to kill someone. And that is Setsuna, blah, blah, twist, spoiler. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. That's great. Like, this is going to be sweet because, like, he's, who knows what's going to happen? Am I going to kill her already? I mean, you don't know. The prologue was very awesome. I really like the subtlety of it. And, from beginning and then the end, it gets, like, kind of crazy, which is cool for a prologue. So once you take the order from this random stranger, you have no idea who it is. Your guy walks on this, down this lonely path through the woods on the snow, and it's dark, it's nighttime. And the game plays a very, very cool theme song to It's more like another introduction song, and because the game starts showing who created the game, and the title comes up, so you guys kind of got it. It kind of like sets the mood, and it was a very awesome theme song. Like, it was cool. Like, it was very fucking cool. Like, the music, like I said, is great. So let's skip ahead. What happens in the game? So we finally get to Setsuna, right? Basically, you don't kill her. You don't kill her then and there. And like I said, in the beginning of this, you go on an adventure and you meet people. Okay, so you got a general senses of the game, right? You go through towns, you talk to people, shit happens, you fix it, you fight bosses, you go through dungeons, towns, final boss, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I haven't beat the game yet, but these are like my first impressions, I guess you can say. But this is still a podcast at 12:19 a.m. Oh, now April 19th, 2016. Okay, so let's talk about the 2 questions I had. It only took 20 fucking minutes, but bear with me, guys. This is a fucking podcast. Okay, 2 questions were, was it worth the price tag? Was I Am Setsuna worth the price tag? And is it worth playing at all? Like, does it have a good lasting appeal, basically? And I'm going to say no to both. Okay. So, the second question is the lasting appeal, basically, which leads to the price tag question. Is it worth the $40? And it is not. Okay. So, let's just say the experience of I Am Setsuna falls very thin, despite it having, I'll admit, the game has memorable times of dialogue and combat and what you do. But here's the thing. Nothing ever changes in the game. And what I mean by that, besides the characterization is on par. Like, the characters are great. Like, I loved it. Okay, every character you meet has a personality, and you feel that personality. And they're dealing with the harsh cold and everything. Did a good job on that. But let's talk about the cold. You're in this snow environment. And I played the game for 12 hours now, and I haven't left the snow world, whatever you want to call it, landmass, at all. I've been to countless different areas, through different dungeons. It's always been snow themed. Besides a few dungeons here and there, which were like ancient ruins, and it wasn't very snow themed, but it looked futuristic. So I'm like, okay, fucking finally, we get a different, place, different, environment. But everything else has been the same. Okay. The overworld, which is where you go from place to place, which Chrono Trigger does that first, and then this game, Final Fantasy does it too, but this game does it also. And like I said, the problem is that when it's a snow theme, the whole fucking time, it gets very boring and very non-innovative. Like, it really does, because you're like, okay, so the next dungeon I'm going to be in a different place. I'm not going to be in the snow anymore. Or the next big area on this landmass, I'm not going to be in snow anymore. No, it's snow the whole fucking time. And I know snow levels are great, but they're great in, like, just like anything else, they're great in moderation, okay? And I think this game highly, highly abused the snow theme bullshit. And oh man, it made my experience, like, made me not happy about it. It wasn't exciting anymore. Even the dungeons are the same ice dungeons. It's all ice dungeons. And the ruins, same ruins. The towns, all snow-themed towns. They all look the same in the overworld. They're not even different looking at all. And, you can argue, Chrono Trigger has the same thing. All the towns kind of look the same. But there's just a different thing of Chrono Trigger in this. Chrono Trigger has different fucking land masses and different environments that look different. That have, when you play Chrono Trigger, you'll know. This game didn't. It didn't have any of that. And that's one of the things that made me not want to play it anymore, not seem enthused about it. And that price tag, $40, is starting to really weigh on my fucking balls right now. Starting to squish them. So, adventuring was dull and boring. Despite the commentary and the dialogue being good between the characters, like, I'm surprised they managed to do a good job, because that's the only thing that kept me going. Okay. So, Oof. Anyway, okay. So we got an idea of what you're gonna see throughout your adventure, and maybe I'm hoping it fucking changes eventually, but I don't know. But 12 hours to hope for that, like that prayer I have with me, it's all that's keeping me going. which is sad because you think characters would save it. Nope. The setting plays a huge fucking role, and I love snow, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to freeze to death on it. You know what I'm saying? Excuse the corny pun. So let's talk about the combat. Okay. The combat's great. I love the combat. Combat's very fucking awesome. Like, I love the combinations of things you can do in it, the weapons you get, and the combinations of attacks, the dual attacks I'm talking about, the type of magic you can get. That's all great. Use your imagination. It's there. The combat system was flawless. I loved it. I think it was very great and executed very well. Game is hard. It's hard. It gets hard at certain bosses. But the enemies, they're not too hard. They're pretty straightforward. Like they should be. And you can do your typical grinding if you can't handle it. Anyway. But the combat wears thin. You want to know why? Remember I was talking about boring dungeons, the same dungeon and over? Well, the same thing with the enemies. I said that you can see the enemy right in real time, and you can choose to fight them or not. But the way they're laid out is the same fucking thing in every dungeon. You notice a pattern because all the dungeons are shaped and designed the same. The enemies on their locations and what they're doing, their patrol, and just the way it's all staged, it's all super fucking repetitive, not exciting at all. And I noticed that, like 3 hours into the game, I'm like, wow. Because basically 3 hours into the game, I knew exactly what dungeons I was going through. I already found the pattern, which was sad. So once again, that's another thing that sucked about the fucking game, is that it was constantly repetitive. And I can just sum it up. Everything in the game is fucking repetitive. Everything. Every little thing. At least in Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger, it wasn't repetitive to a point to where I knew what was coming, because I didn't know what was fucking coming in those games. In this game, I was right every fucking time, despite being like, I don't like metagaming, but holy fuck, how can I not? So far, the good thing about the game is the combat, the characterization, and the music. But in a world to where it's not innovative at all, it just did not woo me over. And I'm pissed off at the fucking game right now because, I'm fighting this boss right now, and he is a piece of fucking shit. Okay. And it's like, oh, I can just level up. But like, I don't want to fucking level up in the game because it's not fun. It's not exciting. It's not like your typical grinding RPG where you're like kind of excited because there's so many different monsters and stuff, and you don't know what to expect. In this game, I knew what to fucking expect, and I'm repeating myself, but I can't help it enough. But you understand, me being repetitive is annoying. That's exactly how I felt playing the game. And I couldn't beat this boss. I honestly fucking couldn't. And my friend David was watching me, but after my fourth try, I fucking beat him. But guess what? He had a typical JRPG moment, a second form of him. It wasn't even his fucking final form. And he whooped my ass. And he was like, you know what? Fuck this game. I'm done. For now. I don't know if I'll go back and play it. But you know how it goes. If you spend so much time progressing and then all of a sudden just a smack in your fucking face and nutsack, it makes you not want to play it. And I think that's just poor game design. And man, it is a bummer because I got hyped up for this game and I bought it for $40, and that's what I said, the price tag for $40 for I Am Setsuna is not worth it. The game is definitely worth like $15, $20 because it's so predictable. The game is so fucking predictable, I'll admit there were some twists here and there with the characterization of your party members, like what they're going through. Like, you really felt like what they were going through. So, like I said, the characterization was fantastic. You felt their personality, but in a fucking stale world, man, God, I can't stress that enough. It's sad, not even the music could save it. The music, we can get on top of it. It was good, but like using the same piano over and over, it's hard to remember the different songs. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard. I guess like a symphony is hard to remember too because it's highly orchestrated and nothing's ever the same in a symphony. But it's not repetitive in a symphony. Not at all. But in this game, the music is repetitive, but I still can't fucking remember it because it's the same instrument the whole time. Other games don't do that, but people that do it, it's based on budget, obviously. But props to the pianist. Like, you did a fucking great job. I'm trying to think of anything else. The game. I mean, I personally would rather play Chrono Trigger again and feel better about it. I mean, Chrono Trigger is a hard game too, but see, when I fail in that game, I want to progress and actually level up because it's such a magical experience. So if you guys are wanting to play I Am Setsuna, a spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger, and you haven't played Chrono Trigger, play Chrono Trigger first. Do yourself a fucking favor. Like I said, save yourself the trouble. This is my opinion, obviously, and I should have said that before in the beginning, but who cares, right? You're going to know it's my fucking opinion. If you don't, you're a fool. So, wow, it's been like 30 minutes of just talking about a game I sadly can't stand anymore, and I wish I got my fucking money back, but you just can't, right? You snooze, you lose, and that's how they fucking get you. They make these games half-ass big time. There are plenty of other things I could talk about in the game, but just know that the game is summed up very, very repetitive and dull and linear. Like I said, bells and whistles can't always fucking save the game. Your fucking automobile can have all these cool features, but if it can't last on the road for longer than a day, it's a piece of shit. What are those bells and whistles? What are those cool little features going to do for you now? It's going to tell you your car's fucking broken. That's all it's going to do. It's just signaling the inevitable. And that's what I Am Setsuna is. Just, oh man, it's just one track. One track mind. Oof. So, guys, hope you enjoyed this little, I don't know. It says it's still a podcast. You could say it's a fucking rant. Whatever, I'll give you a few suggestions for JRPGs you should play. Play fucking Final Fantasy 6 or Final Fantasy 1 through 6. But if you want to play the best of the pixelated retro, Final Fantasy 5 and 6 are great. Play Chrono Trigger. If you don't want to play JRPGs, but you want to play a role playing, fucking play a Skyrim or something with mods, or what's in the role? The Witcher or Mass Effect. Play something that's actually worth the money. So be careful and not do what my fucking dumbass self did and spent the money to shoot their self in the foot multiple times. And I'm sorry, I Am Setsuna and Tokyo RPG Factory, but you are not worth spending $40, and this is sad. Anyway, guys, I have been NikoTheLegend, and the time is 12:31, still April 19th. April 19th. Excuse me, I'm dying inside. August 19th, 2016. And I'm signing out. Fucking A. I just thought I'd let you guys know. And by the way, whoever commented on the last podcast, thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you. And let me guys know how you feel about it. Halfway through the podcast and beginning, and there's gonna be footage in the podcast, so you get kind of can see what I mean. But it's gonna be pretty straightforward. It's not gonna be like a montage, just an episode. Just play through. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'm not going to say like, comment, subscribe, because I'm not, who cares? I'm just rambling here. So signing out, folks. Good night, America.